Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So today it's Sunday and like every Sunday, this is This Week in Action Figure News, episode 22. So let's continue beating a dead horse. So this is of course the non-funded Haslab that finished on Monday. And this one must be the worst Haslab non-funded project that ever happened. And of course this is going to be putting maybe the final nail in the coffin of the Hasbro Pulse 375 stuff that they wanted to call it, because if you're sending out your Haslab and you can only put 1,386 backers, yeah, that's not very good. And the only other O-wing figures that they made are the Ghostbusters, who went in clearance for Halloween. And I don't know, afterwards I quickly picked them up and I was able to pick up an Ecto one. I'm going to be doing the review with it, but that's definitely not something promising. If the two items that you launched in 375 scale or 3¾ inch figures are not working, well, that's not good for the future. Anyway, let's move on to the second subject of This Week in Action Figures, who is Hiya Toys. So, Hiya Toys has decided to come out with the retro version of Gung Ho. So, of course, this is a prototype and you can see it with the articulations over here. I still haven't picked up any Hiya Toys. I'm still a bit on the fence about it. And they're putting out a lot of money currently to do the reviews, doing all the everything that goes into it, and the fact of not being monetized, well, this is very hard to continue buying all these figures. Yes, maybe live in Switzerland, I may be Swiss or half Swiss. That doesn't mean I have an unlimited bank account, so I have to make some choices, and some figures I will have to skip because I cannot follow everything that's coming out, and it's becoming pretty expensive. So with the tariffs, so yeah, this one here looks interesting. I do have a big problem with here the way they're calling him, because they're referring to his logo on his chest as the USMC version, the United States Marine Corps. Then it's definitely not the logo of the United States Marine Corps. It is the same one that you have on your retro figure. So yeah, this is a big problem, and I really don't understand why they have it, and I will be talking about it. But Chuck wanted to give you a quick look of what the figure looks behind, and if we see him on another background, this is the color he has. I mean, US Army should be thanking Hasbro with the G.I. Joe Real American Hero line, because I would be curious to know how many collectors joined the army because of it. I know that there's a lot, and if you joined the US Army based on being a G.I. Joe fan, let me know in the comments section, and I'd be kind of curious to know how many of you joined the army because of Hasbro with the G.I. Joe line. So technically it should be the US Army paying money to Hasbro for promoting their brand, if we can call it like that. So, of course, this is going to be all what you get in the package. Again, $27. You still have to add taxes, tariffs if you live in the US, and extra taxes for clearing. So I don't know if this is going to be that interesting on this figure. But again, that would be up to you. So, of course, you get the stand, you get the little hooks who go over here to attach them. This is a bit the same thing as another brand who does 3¾ inch figures over here. As you can see, he's a bit taller, who's pretty nice also. And over here we have the backpack, knife, pistol, grenade launcher, and another pair of hands, who's pretty decent if we really think about it. Now let's move on to the third subject of this week. So, third subject, and going to be the final one, it is, I didn't do any videos about it or my thoughts. I think that I wanted to gather everything up because it came out on Black Friday that they released the figures. There was a bit of a teaser, so we have some 1/12 scales and we have some 1/6 scale figures over here. So without further ado, let's jump into the figures in 1/6 scale. So here we have Selina Kyle, or Catwoman from the trilogy, The Dark Knight from, what's his name? Have a blank, will come back to me. So of course you can see the figure looks pretty amazing. The suit is a very tight fit, if we can call it like that. But you can already see that there's some wrinkles left and right. And the big question is, how is this going to age? Is it going to age as bad as Hot Toys, or did they have all found a miracle solution to it? Yeah, this is something that's always a bit worrying, and we have to remember that this is a suggest retail price. Well, suggest retail price. It is the retail price that Inart is doing on their website. This figure is $400 without shipping and taxes. So here we have another very suggestive pose about the way she looks with the boots. I mean, if I'm looking at the figure does look pretty amazing. Again, like I said, I'm worried about the wrinkles and how the suit will age. But I mean, when I'm looking at the rest, the figure looks pretty amazing. And here we have, of course, without the mask, and we can see the head sculpt. I think this is not one of the most flattering pictures for Anne Hathaway's head sculpt over here, because I really think that they did a very good job on it, and I'm going to be showing you some pictures of it. But here's another one of the poses, and you can see she comes also with a stand and a pistol. So here is Anne Hathaway's head sculpt, and yeah, the way she looks, everything looks pretty neat. The only thing that I may have as a little reproach, and I have to say, I haven't seen the movie in a little while. I was thinking it was Nolan for the movies. So, of course, Christopher Nolan. And what I have is the lipstick over here seems very strong and very pronounced. But the rest of the head sculpt, the looks, the shininess in the eyes and everything, this looks amazing. And yeah, they really, really nailed it. So, of course, there's maybe a bit of a filter, but the skin tone looks amazing and very realistic for a 12-inch figure. So yeah, here again you can see the grain of the texture of the skin, the ears, everything looks. Now if you want to be a bit nitpicky, you can say the rooted hair over here does not look 100% natural, but I guess you're not going to be having such a close-up on the figure when you're going to be exposing it, and I guess from a certain distance this would look not too bad. And I'm kind of curious to know how good is the rooted hair, because as you know, if you've been following the channel, I pre-ordered the Michael Jackson figure, so I don't know how great the hair is. If you have already purchased some Inart figures, let me know in the comments section. So of course we're going on to the different hands that come with the figure. This is something kind of interesting. I'm kind of wondering, this is to put on the hips like this. And I'm wondering if you could maybe adapt it for the bat pot to put with the Hot Toy bat pot that came out, because you could really pose her on that motorcycle and it could look pretty interesting. Here's a close-up of the two other accessories, or let's call the third accessory, who is the base. So we have the pistol, looks pretty well detailed. And of course her mask with the goggles that come over and down over it. So yeah, a pretty nice figure. $400 is a bit steep, and I have the one from Hot Toys, and I'm pretty happy with the one I have from Hot Toys. Now, continuing with the 1/6 scale, we are moving over to The Walking Dead. So, of course, we have Daryl Dixon over here, who's going to be very interesting, because Hot Toys did an artisan version of the video game where this actor who plays him, I can't remember the name right now, but it's not really important. But yeah, I think Inart, like for the Superman, that the new Superman they did is way superior than Hot Toys has given us. Again, there's a certain price range who could maybe also calm down a lot of people. So of course we're going to be having a look at it, and here is a close-up of the head sculpt of Daryl, and I must say this head sculpt is amazing. If I compare it to Hot Toys and what Hot Toys has done, I haven't seen any texture as good as what they did. The rooted hair, again, looks fantastic. Again, on the pictures, is it like that in real life? Good question. The fact of the hair being sculpted, I was having certain issues with saying that if they did that on the Hot Toys Can You We figure from Wick, it would be nice to have rooted, but over here does not disturb me at all, and it looks pretty amazing the way it looks. I know that I'm using a lot, but I must say that the head sculpt over here is insanely good. I mean, yeah, what more do you want to say? The eyes, of course, also have the moving eyes system, the little scarf over here, the different texture on the skin. I mean, yeah, compared to Hot Toys, yeah. Of course, the prices are also a lot more expensive than Hot Toys. So if you want this one, you're going to be having to pay him $412. So here we have another view of the figure, and I'm going to be getting into the details of his forearms because they are also pretty insane, but I do have a little issue with it. So here we have a close-up of his forearm and wrist and hand, and you can see it is insane. You have the veins, you have the different texture on the skin. This looks real. I mean, yeah, it's crazy how they do it, not to say insane again. This is really fantastic, but it comes with a cost, and as you can see, it is the forearms that move in and out of the figure. Now, how good is that going to last? I guess you're not going to be changing them every day, but as you can see, you have different hands, forearms, and that's going to give you a little bit less maneuverability on the figure, so that's something to take care of, and we're talking about action figures. So that could be the little bit of a downfall. This is most likely a figure that you're going to be posing in different poses with the different arms that you have over here. And it looks good. And for the people who know me, I do like my articulations to give it. But again, over here with the different forearms that you get in, it looks like you can do some pretty cool posing. So, of course, this is everything you get for $412. Now, if you want a deal, if we can call that like this, Inart is giving you the possibility to pre-order, of course, Daryl, and you can get Negan, and also over here you can get Whip Grimes. So, of course, if you want those three figures and you want to pay them fully now, and you have the money, well, Inart is giving you a special deal. It's shipping included, if I'm not mistaken. And this one is going to be going for $1,066. Now, it is a lot of money, but if you really break it down, it still brings you the figure to $355. That means shipping included, compared to the regular figure who's $412. I don't know, I can't remember what was the prices for these two over here. And so this does pose a question. It's maybe better to buy the three figures over here. But again, this is where I have a bit of a problem in the way that Inart is doing their products. If you're going to give a tree set, it's the same thing about, I pre-ordered Negan, I pre-ordered Rick Grimes. Now you're going to tell me, I can get a better deal, so do I cancel my first pre-order because I already put a deposit on it, because suddenly you're giving me a better deal. But I mean, that's still nearly $60, yes, a good $60, $70, maybe $80 off the regular price. So, I mean, if you have the money and you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you should maybe want to pick this up. But this is where I come with one of my big issues about these figures. The figures are beautiful, the figures are amazing. The Inart seems to be doing a really fantastic job with the head sculpts, with everything that goes around the figures, but The Walking Dead is kind of a series who's past its prime. I liked the series when it started. I even tried to do a custom of Rick Grimes with a sheriff uniform by taking the BBI version of the sheriff uniform, trying to do something. But at the end of the day, Walking Dead has passed, and is it going to be like other franchises, like, of course, Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings has its fans, but the products, when the movie was out, when the products were gone, or the movie was gone, well, the people were not buying the products anymore, and everything was going out in clearance. If you want another license who's even worse than that, where the merchandise does not sell at all and everybody put it on clearance, and that would be Avatar. So is it has Walking Dead passed this prime time? Let me know in the comment section. Did you pre-order these, or are you planning to pre-order one of these, or maybe the 3 of them? Let me know in the comment section. I'd be very curious to know. And to finish the last part of this week in Action Figures news, I'm going to be talking about the 112 line of figures. So, of course, over here we also have Selena Kyle. As you can see, head sculpt looks not too bad. Not fan of the hair blowing in the wind, but don't matter. That doesn't really matter because they are giving us some extra hair. As you can see, there's a very subjective look around over here. I guess that Checkpoint Alpha would be a fan of it if this would be the Baroness or any kind of other G.I. Joe character. But as you can see, it does seem to have a lot of possibility and giving you some pretty really nice ways of posing this figure and putting this bit of articulation as Hasbro or even Marvel Legend figures to shame. But again, the pricing of this figure is pretty expensive, or is it not? Because with this figure, you're getting all of this, and this costs $57. Now, I understand $57 is a bit of a high price for a figure like that, but remember, you were paying $55 for the from the garbage that, what was the name of that brand who still exists that I hate, who's Super 7 with the G.I. Joe Ultimates. They were $55. Of course, they're not worth that price. And I know I should not be saying that because I still have some for sale. So, yeah, not really a good commercial for it. But, I mean, for $2 more than a figure from the Super 7, you could get this. So, yeah, this looks way better. Really interesting. And, like I said, it's something that's nice. But I didn't get the Batman. I didn't get the other figures that, well, I think they only did the Batman. They put in some accessories, but again, I do like the franchise. I have the Hot Toy figures, and I am not interested in wanting to get more stuff from the Nolan movies. Now, moving on to the last figure, we have Wong Kong, the Black Myth gorilla, or monkey should it be, from the line. And this figure is something I really do not care about. Now, if you're interested, this one is going up for pre-order, and it's $76. Of course, this does not include shipping nor taxes. And as you can see, you do get a little bit of accessories. You have some fire, some wind movement. You have the possibility to pose him with a stand behind you. So if you want to give him a more dynamic pose, it can work fine. You have different hands, 2 different head sculpts. So yes, it's a stone monkey. So yeah, if you're into this kind of stuff, I think this is more basically for the Asian market, because this is more touching the myth. Or if you're a fan of some of the old games like PC Engine or NEC, had with the Monkey King, I think Sega also had it. So yeah, there was those video games that I played a little while ago. But again, this is something that I'm really not interested in. So if there's any fans of the out there and you're watching the video, let me know what you think about it. Did they do a good job in the rendering about it? And are you going to pick it up? So that's going to be it for this week in Action Figure News episode 22. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. Let's start a conversation. If you want to go and check out my Facebook page, Instagram page, the links are in the description. If you want to go and check out what I have for sale, or part of what I have for sale and all of that, that's all on Facebook group. And you can contact me also there if you want any other information about it. But it's mostly for the people in Europe, because it will not make it very interesting if I'm shipping back to the people in the US. So if you're watching this video on Sunday, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday. And if you're not watching this video on Sunday, I wish you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!